The ideas that gave birth to our nation are the ideas that our nation is resistant to right now, and we should talk about that all the time.
In a world where narratives are shaped by corporations and gatekeepers, independent voices matter more than ever. Badlands Media brings together citizen journalists, researchers, and independent thinkers.
The truth is triggering.
Question the narrative. Explore the facts.
It's authenticity, courage, resilience.
Search for the truth others won't.
It's not about being first or being right.
The information war is changing.
It's about being authentic.
Embrace the friction.
Embrace the friction.
Shut the f*** up.
Authentically antagonizing. Join the movement.
I'm going to say how I feel.
Follow Badlands Media.
This is about the future.
The Badlands. What are the Badlands? Explain those Badlands. That's a hell of a name.
Mr. Vice President, I'm going off script again, I know, but I just want to personally thank you. We've been through some stuff. We've gone through some of the most complex military operations this country's ever conducted, and your steady hand and your leadership during those was a great source of strength for me. Thank you for your leadership. Thank you for your character. Thank you for your selfless service. Thank you for commitment. Thank you for being a mentor to me, Mr. Vice President.
It's called the swamp. And you know what happened? And you know what I did? A big favor. I caught the swamp. I caught them all. Let's see what happens. Nobody else could have done that but me. I caught all of this corruption that was going on, and nobody else could have done it. Did I get that one right? Every 4 years, we gather on these steps to carry out the orderly and peaceful transfer of power. Today's ceremony, however, has very special meaning, because today we are not merely transferring power from one administration to another, but we are transferring power from Washington, D.C., and giving it back to you, the people. For too long, a small group in our nation's capital has reaped the rewards of government, while the people have borne the cost. Washington flourished, but the people did not share in its wealth. This American carnage stops right here and stops right now. The forgotten men and women of our country will be forgotten no longer. From this day forward, a new vision will govern our land. From this day forward, it's going to be only America first.
This is a president of the United States who is a danger to the Republic.
America first.
He knows he's an illegitimate president.
The oath of office I take today is an oath of allegiance to all Americans.
The great Trump recovery.
America will never be a socialist country. I will fight for you with every breath in my body.
Russia, Russian, pro-Russian, Russian, Russia, Russian, 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 the Russians. Russian.
Russia, Russia, Russia.
And I will never, ever let you down.
A dangerous virus is spreading rapidly in China, and U.S. officials are very worried that it could come here.
This is really the worst attack we've ever had. This is worse than Pearl Harbor. This is worse than the World Trade Center. There's never been an attack like this.
The time for empty talk is over. Now arrives the hour of action. What they're doing is using COVID to steal an election. Together, we will make America strong again. You know what it's about? Fraud, fake ballots. we will make America wealthy again.
They are trying to steal the election.
Now, under the leadership of President Trump, we are fully realizing President Kennedy's prescient view of special operations forces.
We will make America proud again.
And watch, please, those mail-in ballots.
We will make America safe again.
And in millions and millions of ballots. Their vote is under what they thought they needed.
They're dumping more ballots in there, okay? And yes, together, we will make America great again. Thank you. God bless you.
If we are right about the fraud, Joe Biden can't be president.
Congress, the chair declares the joint session dissolved.
Well, good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Wednesday edition of the Devolution Power Hour, and I am so pleased to report that Burning Bright is gone this week. He's on vacation or something, so I have a replacement. Very excited about it. Hoping it stays like this every Wednesday permanently. Maybe Burning Bright just won't come back. We'll see what happens, but you guys should be excited about it too, because it's my other Power Hour hosts, Chris Paul. Chris, how's it going, man?
Going good. Burning Bright is not with me tomorrow night on Story Hour as either. That's the word I was looking for, not as well.
It's going to be the best Story Hour ever, I bet.
I mean, anything is possible, but I would never say that.
Yeah, I'm off to a great start. What are you doing for the movie tomorrow?
We are doing the movie Bulworth.
And
it's
who's
from the late 90s. My friend Josh, he's a very literary man. He's a literature professor and screenwriter, and he is a very, very funny fellow. So it should be a good time.
Cool. Well, I'm excited to check that out. I might actually watch that show now that Burning Bright's not on it. See what happens. Just kidding. Safe travels, Burning Bright. They checked out our St. Pete venue today. Looks like it's going to be pretty cool, that GART that we're doing there in Florida. So make sure you guys be patient and get those tickets when they come out. Otherwise, get your Deadwood tickets. Those are available.
Yeah, we are going to be crushing GARTs the rest of this year.
Hell yeah, we always do, man.
Yeah.
Where have you been?
Well, I mean, it's just by the time June 25th rolls around, that's like basically half the year is gone. Only one GART, and then
that's
just
a good point.
GART.
Yeah, June GART, Deadwood, September GART, Vegas, November GART, Florida. It's going to be great. But yeah, weird, funny news week, I would say so far. The Massey thing yesterday, I feel like the truth movement kind of lost its mind for a couple days. And then I realized, well, they never really had its mind. It's always been that way. But it was on full display, the retardation. And we're probably going to talk a little bit about that tonight. A couple of great Trump clips, some Trump settlement with the IRS. The more I'm reading into that now, because I reread the thing that you sent over, and the other, like, there's something weird here.
Yeah.
Something really weird.
The whole thing's very weird.
Yeah. So we'll talk about that too. But yeah, let's start off. We'll get to our sponsors in a little bit. What do you think about the Massey situation? Going into it, it was I didn't know what to expect. I honestly didn't care. Gallerine sucks. Massey sucks. I think they're both terrible. What a weird nickname for your penis too, by the way. Pinecone. Like,
I mean, is that the Thomas Massie thing that like was supposedly in a text message?
Allegedly. I mean, it came from Laura Loomer, so it was probably wildly out of context. But
yeah, I wonder, did he like he dressed up as a Christmas tree one year and
maybe. I never thought of that, but that's how most nicknames for penises come about, is Christmas parties.
Yeah.
But anyway, yeah, the election last night, Trump was obviously vocally very against Thomas Massie. APAC money on one side, most money ever spent in a race. We talked about this a little bit Saturday too, but the results came in and it looks like Massie is gone. And I don't know, what are you thinking?
Well, I'm of many minds about this. I totally accept that there is a possibility that all of this is a grand stage play and it's all just kayfabe, and Massie was playing the perfect foil the way that Ron DeSantis did in 2020, or, you know, in the primaries leading up to the fake election in 2024, and that he was just kind of welcoming the anti-Trump onslaught from within the tent. And if Massey performed that role, well done. He did a great job of it. But, Trump's called him many times a grandstander and has for many years now. He had problems with Massey in the first term. He's having the same sorts of problems. And if we just, this is for the sake of the conversation, if we accept that our perspective is correct, that there's something else going on behind the scenes, that Trump is fighting a different enemy than the one that is commonly described to be Trump's enemy, which is the Democrats or Iran or Russia or whoever it might be, that's America's enemy that Trump is fighting. If we, instead of that, think about Trump is actually fighting against the uniparty in America. One of their strongest weapons is their fake elections.
Mm-hmm.
Behind that is the fact that everything is based on reputation, and media just hammers all day away at Trump's reputation. You've got those two critical things. Now, Massey has not been on board in either of those things at any point since Trump walked down the golden escalator. And so the idea that Massey is like our best friend is preposterous to me.
Yeah.
When he takes anti-Trump stances, they are in ways that are legitimately anti-Trump relative to the actual mission. He might be able to say, I'm the one defending the Constitution in this case. But what he's actually doing is providing an ostensibly, quote unquote, from the right opposition to Trump from within the tent in a very vocal way that makes him stand out on his own, like he is some kind of shining light in the distance. He's the step away from the uniparty. Yeah. And I'll pause there, but.
No, I liked what you were saying. I think you should keep going, because it's been a weird thing with Thomas Massie, the whole principled conservative thing and the divide on him generally. It's feel like it's been its own psyop, because there are some things that he's done that has been real shitty, like you said. There's also been things he's done that I agree with, but it's freaking politics, and they're all retarded. They're all paid for. They're all bought. And I think, honestly, I interviewed Tim Burchett this week, and if there was any hope for somebody in government that's like, you know what, maybe this is the guy, maybe this is the one, I may have lost that thought on him. Go watch the interview. I mean, he said some good things, but he said a lot of really shitty things too, especially about our elections. And what you said earlier too about, if we're right about the things we believe in, something bigger going on behind the scenes. Another aspect of that is the election systems being fraudulent. We should have a discussion about what it means that Trump is 36-0 in his endorsements so far. Like, I talked about this a little bit in my show, and it kept getting brought up. Like, this is Thomas Massie. This is Trump. Like, if you go against Trump, then you're gone. You're out of there. But is that really what it means? Is that really what it means? Like, if the election system is fraudulent and the results are going to be known in advance by Trump potentially, are his endorsements actually picking the winner? No, they're picking the result that the machine's going to spit out. And so I think we should riff on that for a little bit too.
Yeah. Well, I think that he's influencing a narrative with his picks. I don't think that I won 37 of the races that I endorsed last night. I don't think that that's a big deal, except for the fact that he's saying he's fully in control of the situation. And I believe that he is fully in control of the situation. As far as to just wind back a little bit to Massey's disagreements with Trump, there are ways to disagree with Trump. And I think that we spend a lot of time trying to refine the ways to disagree with Trump and do so respectfully, while still saying we are 100% behind Trump and we are 100% behind this project. We are trying to understand the project as best we can and then analyze with that in mind. That's not what people like Thomas Massie are doing. And it's not what his supporters are doing either. The crossover between Trump is owned by Israel and online Massey supporter is enormous. And it's not totally one-to-one, because there are kind of leftists in either one of those camps, or there are neocons in one of those camps. So it's not totally one-to-one. But Thomas Massie supporters and people who say that Trump is bought by Israel, it's also a lot of the Maha thing. And they were just out there taking victory laps over the weekend and on Monday.
Who was?
For the Maha people for winning the primary down in Louisiana that we talked about with Bill Cassidy losing.
Right.
Julia Letlow is like a Maha person. Well, where were they last night? In Kentucky. And, I want them to stand up and challenge the election result and say Thomas Massie was robbed. By all means, go do that. But they're not doing it, and Thomas Massie's not doing it. Why?
Yeah, it is weird that Thomas isn't, but I am seeing some people online, like the Ryan Matas and like that crew. I'm not a big fan, but
there are definitely a few. I'm not trying to say that there's none of that.
Yeah, but you're right. Like the Nick Fuentes crowd, they are all like Thomas Massie supporters. Does he consider himself a libertarian?
I think
Thomas
so.
Massie?
Yeah.
A lot of that crowd is doing it. Dave Smith. Yeah, it's been interesting. Like if you look at the cheerleader doomer spectrum, that's kind of what it was. The cheerleaders were all anti-Massie. The doomers, I would say, are all pro-Massie, and that's what we got last night. But again, Ed Gallerin sucks, and Trump is not helping with the Israel thing. He's doing this on purpose for sure. He did you see this clip earlier where he like totally leaned into the?
Yes, but hold on a second. I want to stick with your cheerleaders and doomers thing for a second, because I'm trying to understand what it means, which way we're supposed to go for or against Massie if we are trusting Trump. So we go against Massie in that case, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just want to make sure. What did the Q drop say about that?
I have no idea. Right, if we trust Trump, we'd be going against Massie, but for Lindsey Graham.
I guess.
That's the thing. This. I said this on my show earlier today too. It's like we know that the only thing we really do know at this moment in time in the info war is that Trump is essentially a walking psyop. Like you can't take anything he says at face value because he's all over the map. You've talked about this more than anybody. He will take multiple sides of the same issue. And then when he does that, how do you know which side you're supposed to trust?
Yeah.
You don't.
Yeah. I would say all sides of the same issue. And like all of the major mainstream viewpoints, Trump is going to try each one of them on so that everybody who attacks everything anti-Trump is going to attack that viewpoint, unless, of course, they agree with it. And then they'll be, even the anti-Trump people, if they agree with that viewpoint, have to defend the viewpoint. And in essence, defend Trump. And so everybody is forced into arguing against like their own pet issues, the ways that they identify themselves and kind of their influencer personality. It's like part of their core brand, and Trump is destroying all their brands. So I love that stuff. And then all he has to do is introduce the other option from outside. I talk about this like controlled opposition dynamic plus one, like COD plus one.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is. He's taken on all the identities in there. He brings one more in, and that identity turns the whole rest of the thing into chaos. And you end up with a circular firing squad, and you've got it now.
Yeah. What you were saying earlier about trusting Trump, like what are we supposed to do if we trust Trump? I've noticed like this is something that's not going to go away. It's the hypocrisy that gets exposed in situations like this. Like the people who were against Massey supporting Ed Gallerin because Trump said so. You can go through most of their Twitter profiles, do a quick search for APAC. Every one of them has railed against APAC in the past.
Of course.
Completely ignore that in this situation. You look at MTG, that's another good example because MTG is like, everybody hates her now because Trump said we're supposed to hate her. And you look at their profiles in the past. And do you remember was it the Speaker McCarthy election that went like 15 rounds?
Yep.
17 minus 2 rounds. And there's that picture of her holding the phone with DJT on it, and everybody's like, oh my gosh, she's in on, like, look at this, MTG's the best, all these things. I have proof of people deleting old posts in support of MTG.
Wow.
Who are now just railing against her. But that's the mindset. It's like you have to do whatever Trump says all the time, even when that forces you to become a hypocrite. But yeah, that was on full display, and that's why I'm glad like I didn't give a shit. I don't give a shit who won that race last night, and I don't find myself in that pickle.
Yeah. I think that we are going to be treated this fall to a replay of the 2022 election narrative where the big red wave was expected. And then when it didn't come, Trump and his supporters were blamed for that because we wouldn't stop talking about the fake elections and some of the other issues. And that just wasn't palatable for the American people. So they punished all of the MAGA candidates. And it's funny because I was thinking about who those candidates were back then. And it was like Doug,
Collins,
Mastriano,
or Mastriano.
Is that what his name is? What is his last name? I'm forgetting his last name.
Mastriano is a state senator from Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Am I saying that right? Okay. Good.
Yeah, he just got an ambassadorship to.
Right. So did Carrie Lake, by the way.
Yeah, Carrie Lake.
That's the other person, one of the MAGA candidates in 2022 that was Trump endorsed and supported in the primaries and then lost in the general to substantiate the claim that Trump and MAGA supporters and election deniers cost the Republican Party their majority. Isn't it incredible how these narratives just continue to work to support the uniparty agenda, even on the backs of people like Carrie Lake and Doug Mastriano? It's amazing. It's like it's all scripted.
There they are. Carrie Lake is going to Jamaica. Mastriano is going to Slovakia.
Let me see. Let me ask the machine. What pro-Trump Republicans lost in the 2022 midterms that cost Republicans the red wave because of Trump alignment? I'm going to make this the most biased question possible so it spits out. No, I do. You know what I mean? Do you ever do that? Like prejudge, you know what perspective the AI is going to take, so you like try to take it harder than they do?
Yeah, I sometimes, but I've been in a habit now of asking, I'll go to one AI and ask the question I want, but tell it to write me the prompt however I want it to be answered.
For another AI.
And then I go to the other AI and write the prompt in there. And I always get way better results.
That's so funny. And then, of course, the AI's information goes in the garbage in mode to the next AI for training.
Yeah.
This is what humans talk like.
Hey, it works. It gets me the answer I'm looking for.
Yeah.
Because, you know, nobody knows how to ask the machine and get the machine's Jimmy's rustling better than another machine. That's just the conclusion I've come to. But wasn't the 2022 midterms, we won back the House, right? We just didn't win back the Senate.
The truth is, I don't remember. I don't remember the final numbers. I just remember that it was MAGA's fault. And Donald Trump had, right before that, done Ron DeSanctimonious, and that was another part of the MAGA destruction of the conservative mainstream that cost the Republican Party. And by the way, I have some other great names here. Dr. Oz in the Pennsylvania Senate, Herschel Walker, Blake Masters, Adam Laxalt. Masters didn't really deny the election, at least not in any substantial way. He lost to Mark Kelly, the spaceman who recommended treason in his video. Adam Laxalt, Don Bolduc, Doug Mastriano, Carrie Lake, Tudor Dixon. Remember her?
Oh, yeah.
Joe Kent.
Wasn't Tudor Dixon the one Alabama who did like the speaking or the rebuttal to the State of the Union?
No, that was I can't think of her first name, but Britt, who's a senator now.
Right. That's right.
Yeah, no, Tudor Dixon was running in Michigan. And then Bo Hines, J.R. Majewski, Caroline Levitt, and those are the names that I remember from that cycle.
We should go. I wonder how many of these people have been given positions in Trump's campaign. Because Herschel Walker, he's the ambassador to the Bahamas.
Yep. Isn't it crazy how all these people, like, did they run losing campaigns and get rewarded with ambassadorships?
I don't know.
Or is he just putting everybody into these pointless ambassadorships that are the sorts of positions that the hardcore version of Donald Trump MAGA would never allow?
I mean, those are good questions, but there's got to be an overlap here because that's three. Carrie Lake, Mastriano, Herschel Walker for sure. Blake Masters, he ran again in 24, didn't he? I'm pretty sure he did.
Against Abe Hamadeh for the House. He ran for the Senate in 22.
That's right. That's right. But he lost both.
Well, he lost the primary, I believe, to Abe Hamadeh, and then Abe Hamadeh lost the general, I want to say. Maybe that was for attorney. Ah, shit, man.
I don't remember.
I think they both run twice, and I'm going to mess up the cycles.
Yeah, those two. I mean, I always get those two confused anyway. But we have this is their breakdown. The Republicans did win the House back, but they did not win the Senate.
Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, they
had the majority in the House already.
Yeah, and Kevin McCarthy took over as Speaker. No, they won the majority because Pelosi was Speaker, and then she became Speaker Emerita.
That's right.
What was I going to say? Oh, so the 2022 thing, though, it was like they wanted to convince the country that the elections were fine and then move Trump out of the picture. And the whole idea was that they were going to that MAGA was going to cost the Republican Party the midterm elections. Everyone would freak out about how the red wave never came. All the disappointment would create the same demoralization that we had in January 2021. And everybody would be like, finally, like, we're done with Trump. We can't afford any more Republican losses. It's clear that the country has moved on from Donald Trump. No one wants to hear about stolen elections. And that's exactly what we got.
I'm going to play that clip from my show with
Burchett.
Tim Burchett.
Yep.
Because he kind of does what you say here, blames the voters.
Oh, 100%. That's what he exists to do. And to be the UFO disclosure guy. Hey, everybody, you can trust me. You can dadgum trust me. Fuck off.
You see Congress as the problem. You seem like a legit dude. I like you.
Congress is the problem, brother. Congress is the problem. We are crooked as a dog's leg. The other side's just a little more crooked than we are.
Well, so how do we fix that? Because our elections, people are like, well, you just hold them accountable at the ballot box. Our elections are fraudulent too, and Congress isn't going to vote to fix the elections.
Part of that is some of the people raising the most cane don't get out and vote. Evangelical Christians, I am one. 40% of them stay home. 30% of gun owners stay home. But I'll guarantee you, when I go into the Baptist church at home, one of them, everybody's telling me, what we need to be doing, but dadgum, they're sitting on their butt on election day. And I always say you got to put enough points on the board that they can't steal it from us. And currently we're not doing that. And this Save America Act would be a perfect example of if we had that on the books and we had some leadership in the Senate, that they would run that bill, but they won't. And I don't know what the answer is, but what we're doing right now, we are progressively losing our country.
Do you think people perhaps stay home because they recognize that the election system is fraudulent and cannot produce legitimate results?
I think that's an excuse. Some people do, but I think some people are just lazy. They're not going to do anything. They're just going to complain about what's going on, but not do anything about it. And they talk real tough.
Sure.
I knock on doors. That's how I get elected. Not a lot of people like me. I don't come from money. My parents are career educators. Daddy fought in the Second World War in the Pacific, the Marine Corps. My mama flew an airplane during the Second World War. Mama was a school teacher. And Daddy rose to become a dean at the University of Tennessee. And when I knock on doors, I use a list, and I can tell how many times that people vote and generally who they are, because it's public information. And a lot of the times you see these big shots, big talkers, community leaders, preachers, business people, they don't vote. They don't vote. It's just little quiet folks that you'll see a number 5 by them. They voted in 5 of the last elections. And those are the people. Those are usually your target people. But the truth is, your big Chamber of Commerce boys and some of them and some of the people that yell the loudest vote the least.
Sure. But again, I really want to clarify your position on the election. Do you think elections are legitimate? I mean, we've seen so much fraud. And I think
there's a lot of fraud, and I think there's a denial of the fraud, but I do think overall they're legitimate. I just think it's apathy.
Sure.
And just general laziness.
Apathy and laziness. That's why Trump didn't get in there in 2020. I think my favorite part of doing those is they have to interview with a guy who has deity of lotion as his description under his name.
Man, these guys come out and they've got their whole, I'm unique. The UFO thing. I mean, how much trust has he gained for being the UFO guy?
I don't know. But I mean, does anybody really trust any of these people?
I don't know, man. I feel like a lot of people look to this guy as their champion in Congress because of that.
Yeah.
I guess once the government files on the aliens come out, then we'll finally know.
That's been ridiculous. We're supposed to get more files soon. I saw something like the other day that the second batch of files is coming out.
Okay.
So Looking forward to that. Yeah. And Trump's leaning into that too, man. He's the video or the picture he posted the other day of walking with the alien. That was so funny.
Totally. Yeah, man. And he was in like the Space Command Center, like nuking little spots on Earth, blowing satellites up in the sky. And people are like, look, we finally won. Trump's coming out with all of the weapons that we really have. Oh, yes, he's taking it very seriously.
Yeah, AI is such a great thing. I want to pull up the picture because I did some deep analysis on it, and I was able to determine that it was AI and not a real image. It took a while, though. Let me show you what really sold me on it. Here we go. Open image in new tab. Let me share this screen. Okay, so if you look closely, it looks very realistic, but you can see the handcuff, the chain that connects them. The one side is not connected. That right there. That is how I can confirm for you that this is AI. Also, there's not a tire on the vehicle in the background there. If not for those two things, you wouldn't be able to tell.
Well, yeah, and I mean the genitals are inconclusive.
That's true. It's
So
maybe
that
this
just
is
looks like a man's body, basically.
well, maybe this is what he's talking about this is our future if we allow the mutilization for everybody to get in there, the transgender for everybody. This is what our future looks like. So funny. God, Trump's such a character.
Some of the real science guys were getting really Eric Weinstein. I think I was being sent Eric Weinstein posts about he wants this stuff to be taken more seriously so that we can really have the real talk about it, and so that everyone will know.
Take what more seriously?
The alien thing. He doesn't like, you don't joke about this stuff. What are you trying to say? Is this disclosure, or is this just making us not take it seriously? Hey,
was he saying that about Trump or about like everybody else?
About that post.
Oh,
yeah.
What a bitch. Like how are we supposed to take it serious? We haven't been shown anything serious yet.
People cannot even fathom the possibility that we might not ever again have an objective, collective, shared, agreed upon reality. It might just be everybody thinking what they think. And hey, guys, it already is that. And it's always been that. We just operate so that we can reap the rewards of going along with the program.
Yeah. I feel like people don't actually want that.
No, they don't want that. They want structure outside them because it's too stressful and too scary to be self-starting when it comes to everything. And I get it. That instinct is totally conditioned out of us. That is what our schooling is for. That is what our culture is for. But you can do it. It's just like reapproaching the world as a child and being like, you know what? I don't know a lot of these things. You already don't know those things. Okay. Yeah. It's not like you just go from knowing everything about how the world works to not knowing anything about how the world works. All the stuff you do every day works the same way it's always worked. You just begin finding, oh, wow, that thing that I use or that thing that I think, that's not exactly what I thought it was. Maybe there's another way that I can do that doesn't expose me to that problem. And you just repeat that across the board. We can all make our way through this. We have never known whether or not there are aliens, and the government doesn't know either. Like, all of this is just so retarded.
They've admitted that. What is Weinstein famous for again?
Eric?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, he was one of the managing partner or something at Thiel Capital. So he's very close to Peter Thiel. His brother is Brett Weinstein. They were both made famous by the Joe Rogan podcast, the Dave Rubin podcast, the Sam Harris podcast, and then Barry Weiss, who's Mark Andreessen's chief propagandist at the Free Press and now at CBS News. She made them famous in the New York Times as the intellectual dark web.
Yeah, that's right. I forgot about that. But it is interesting that he's like, we can't take this seriously. The government itself is not taking it seriously. The government is like, here's everything we have. We don't know what any of this even means. Like, we don't know. That's our answer. We don't know. But people are in denial about it. They're like, oh, they're still hiding all the files.
there's not any way in those government files to separate which is true and which is fiction. It's just an authoritative claim. Okay. Appeals to authority are a logical fallacy, but we do it all the time because we believe that that's the only way to know things.
You should explain what you mean by appeal to authority.
So when I say trust Trump, or when I say it says it right here in the document, I am saying the thing I am asserting is true because Trump says it's true, or the thing I am asserting is true because this document says it. Okay. Both of those are fallacious logically, because I don't have any reason, with no familiarity of Trump, I have no reason to believe that the things that Trump says are just automatically true, to the point where you can say Trump said it, therefore it's true. Why would I believe that? That would be a logical error. We do that about everything across the board. Almost everything we know is not a product of our direct experience or something that we can derive from first principles using sound logic. And that is the only way to know something directly. And you could even then have an argument that there are certain ways you can't know it for certain even then. And if we want to go all the way down at the bottom of that, there's only God is. That's the only thing that you can know. It's the only thing you can know 100% is true by every one of those measures and cannot be refuted. Okay. Everything above that is up for question and up for doubt. If you tell me CBS News said XYZ, most people in our audience would be like, oh, wait a second, John, you can't say that it's true just because CBS News said it. CBS News is fake news. They're lying almost all the time. Of course that's true, right? That would be a bad authority for us to appeal to, but people think that official government documents are a good authority for us to appeal to. That also is not true.
True, but we can decode CBS News. Right.
That's right.
Like they're one of those fake news agencies that we used to call fake news, but are now sources of decodes like Fox News.
Yeah. You know what's going to be great? Getting an opportunity to decode the UFO files. When we hear that there are like 257 of this kind of ship, then we can just find post 257 and be like, see, which will mean nothing, but it'll be exciting on the internet.
The reality is like all the D-class that we've gotten in terms of like the JFK files, the Epstein files, we haven't gotten the 9/11 files yet, which we were told were coming, but the UFO files so far, they've all been the same. And by that, I mean, they've all been nothing burgers. Haven't learned a single new thing really out of anything.
Well, if Thomas Massie's supporters were the ones to release the 9/11 files, it would just say the Jews, the Jews, the Jews, the Jews, the Jews, the Jews on every page.
There's a couple of
that the Jews did it.
Let me find my clip. Damn it, I didn't have it.
By the way, maybe they did. I don't know. I'm just saying, like, it's the Jews.
The Jews.
There we go.
Saying the Jews is not like the end of the road, and people don't understand that, and that's the weirdest thing. And then if you say that the Jews thing is not the end of the road, they're like, he works for the Jews.
Well, hopefully that'll end soon, because the new anti-Semitism bills, you guys, you shouldn't be calling us anything mean anyway, because we are tranny black Jews, right? We already declared that. So if you criticize us, you are anti a lot of things, but mainly anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
But now
we only identify that way sometimes, to be fair.
That's fair, but only when it's convenient for us.
Right, exactly.
It works in our favor.
But that's within the rules. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off.
No, you're totally fine. But I'm just saying there's new bills coming out. Badlands has sponsored the bills that make anti-Semitism illegal. Like you can't do that on the internet anymore. Sweeping congressional bills. $1 billion charities. We're trying to get access to some of that money. $1 billion set aside for Jewish charities. We are starting a Jewish charity just to try to get some of that Jew money. We'll see what happens.
I thought
we're going to miss Ghost while he's in prison.
I thought you were going to have that APAC post pulled up from today.
Which one?
Or that John Podhoretz clip.
Well, I have this clip first I was going to play where Trump's like, I love the Jews so much. I'm going to be the leader.
Actually, it was they love me so much, wasn't it?
Oh, yeah. He's pulling at 99%. He's almost pulling as good in Israel as he is here in his own party in Mega. But no, we got to get to our sponsors real quick before I get too far. Whatever that other clip is you're talking about, you should pull that up. And we're going to talk real quick about Native Path Krill. This episode is brought to you by Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil, Omega-3s, and astaxanthin for heart, joints, and memory. You know that feeling when you wake up and your hands feel stiff for the first half hour, or you go to grab a coffee mug and your fingers don't want to cooperate? That's inflammation showing up where you can actually feel it. And the research on what eases that kind of thing keeps coming back to one nutrient, krill oil. And today's sponsor makes the absolute cleanest version that you can find. If you've been taking fish oil for heart, joint, or memory support, here's something you need to know. Research shows fish oil is 50% less absorbable than krill oil because fish oil's omega-3s are in triglyceride form, while krill oils are in phospholipid form, which is the same format your cell walls are made of. That means krill oil gets into your cells immediately, and in head-to-head studies, krill oil outperformed fish oil at improving cholesterol, reducing inflammation, and easing joint pain, often at lower doses. Native Path Antarctic Krill Oil is sourced from pristine Antarctic waters, contains the powerful antioxidant astaxanthin, and comes in tiny, soft gel format, so you don't get any of those fishy burps. And for this special offer, you can save up to 60%. Head to getkrill.com/badlands. That's getkrill.com/badlands. You can try risk-free with a 365-day money-back guarantee. If my calculations are correct, that means a 1-year money-back guarantee. Make sure you guys check that out. We also got Rumble Studio as a sponsor tonight. I'm going to read this, and then we'll get into some of the videos. We hear a lot about crypto, but here's the part most people miss. Crypto was created so you could actually own and control your money. After the 2008 financial crisis, Bitcoin was designed as an alternative to banks. So instead of a bank holding your money, delaying transfers, or limiting access, you are in control. And if you've ever had to wait for a transfer to clear, you've felt that problem. Now, fast forward to today. Everyone's heard of crypto, but getting started still feels quite complicated. That's why we use Rumble Wallet. It takes all the complexity and makes it super simple. You can choose what you want, whether it's Bitcoin, dollar-backed stablecoins, or even a digital gold backed by real gold. No complicated setup. It connects with MoonPay, so you can use your credit card or debit card or bank and be up and running in minutes. And once you're set up, you can even support your favorite Rumble creators like us directly. So do this now, scan the QR code, or click the link in the description and download Rumble Wallet. From there, you can set up your wallet, tap buy, and you are in the game. In just a few minutes, you can go from hearing about crypto to actually owning some. And on that note, there was an executive order today. You guys know how much I love executive orders. That did talk about integrating digital currencies and digital assets into the financial system. To foster this financial information, the federal government must update regulations to allow integration of digital assets and innovative technology into traditional financial services and payment systems. I got G's, Jimmy Rustlins, for those curious. But okay, you want me to play your video first?
Yeah, that's a tough one. That's awfully weird. So are they making private banks? Is the government forcing private banks to exchange with digital currencies?
I don't know if that's what they're forcing. I feel like they're streamlining like regulatory stuff, streamlining regulatory processes, reduce barriers for entry, encourage collaboration between fintech firms. I don't know if it's forcing though. Forcing is a strong word when we're talking about the government making you do something, Chris.
That's true, I suppose.
Yeah, maybe they are. I guess I don't know.
Yeah.
9 days, the head of, see what it says anything. Reviewing stuff first. Everything's 90-day review. Take steps to encourage innovation as a result. I don't know. I'll have to do more research on that.
This and the AI thing, it's just the idea that the government has, I mean, right's not even the right word, but I don't even know how else you could talk about it, a role in regulating this stuff in the first place.
I don't know.
What in the world? Why would we give the government any leeway to have any say about the things that they can't touch, like AI or we've already gone too far with giving up gun rights, by the way. To allow them to regulate AI or to regulate digital currency seems terribly stupid.
Well, I mean, if we don't like it, we can just hold them accountable at the ballot box, Chris.
Yeah, totally. I sent you the APAC post.
It's a great post.
Yeah.
From APAC. Ed Galleon's victory in Kentucky and Clay Fuller's win in Georgia ensures two outspoken pro-Israel voices are positioned to fill seats previously held by outspoken detractors Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene. The community was proud to help pro-Israel candidates win these races. This is a great follow-up, by the way. What percentage of Kentucky population is Jewish? Approximately 0.39%.
Yeah. You know, it's funny that it's Thomas Massie and Marjorie Taylor Greene who have made themselves famous television characters on the back of Trump's online popularity. This and have been helped a great deal by Elon Musk's Twitter as well. And so, yeah, I don't know exactly what to make of all of this in general, but I would look ahead toward what narrative in the fall may have been disrupted by this. And, you know, obviously I think it's going to be, 5.5 months before we kind of are able to put any sort of form to the thing I just said. But at that point, I think that we'll probably see a significant pattern, like I said, repeating what we witnessed in 2022, or potentially the full reversal of that, full public reversal. I mean, by the way, that the narrative is actually Trump's candidates and MAGA candidates outperformed the establishment. And that would be a very positive sort of thing. That would be nice to see something like that happen even in the midterms. But you know that all the narrative efforts from now until then are going to be anti-Trump. And now they've got the revenge tour from people like Bill Cassidy or Tom Tillis, these other guys that Trump has gone against in the Senate who are now lame duck senators, will have the same thing in the House. And all these people are going to be a thorn in Trump's side,
Yeah. Skeptical in the chat says Trump's getting anyone decent out of the GOP to blow it up.
It may well be true. I mean, that's giving an awful lot of credit to the people he's removing. Does Bill Cassidy fit that profile that Thomas Massie fits? And how about the Maha thing? Bill Cassidy, who lost to Julia Letlow, the Maha person, was the last vote to get Robert F. Kennedy Jr. out of, I think, the Senate Finance Committee or something.
Who was that?
His nomination, Bill Cassidy, the Louisiana Senate.
Yeah.
So they, that was the guy that was bought off by Big Pharma. So this was such a big win for Maha with Letlow. Was he bought off by Pharma when he was sending RFK out of committee? I don't totally understand that.
Yeah, I mean, all these people in government. I mean, I think Trump does need to blow up the Republican Party, but I don't care if those people are part of it when he does or not. Like, are they going to be? Does that mean they're going to survive it so they can come into a position later that's different? I don't know. But the whole Israel thing, he's definitely leaning into it. And I want to play this clip from Trump earlier today.
What have you said to Prime Minister Netanyahu about Iran and how long to hold off on strike?
It's fine. He'll do whatever I want him to do. He's a very, very good man. He'll do whatever I want him to do. And he's a great guy. To me, he's a great guy. Don't forget, he was a wartime prime minister. And he's not treated right in Israel, in my opinion. I'm right now at 99% in Israel. I could run for prime minister. So maybe after I do this, I'll go to Israel, run for prime minister. I had a poll this morning. I'm 99%. So that's good. But no, he's a wartime prime minister. And I just don't think they treat him well.
Mr. President, what do you do?
I think they have a president over there that treats him very poorly.
You're on the same page with him on Iran?
Yeah.
What have you said to
Wartime prime minister, just like Trump is a wartime president, and
Indeed.
Mike Johnson, wartime speaker with a great package.
Yeah. So it's funny that comes on the heels of Trump being Israel's tool, according to the people who were very upset last night.
Yeah. And plus there's a new article out, the peace proposal that apparently led to a pretty tense phone call. New Iran peace proposal triggers tense Trump Netanyahu call. There's a big difference between a perfect phone call and a tense phone call, just so you guys are aware. President Trump and Bibi discussed a new effort to reach a deal with Iran in a difficult call Tuesday, with one source saying Netanyahu's hair was on fire after the call. Well, I'm assuming that was not like literally, because I feel like that would have been bigger news. His hair was on fire. A revised peace memo was drafted by Qatar and Pakistan with input from other regional mediators. This is like a day after Trump put out the post where he's like, all these other leaders told me to not do our planned strike that was for tomorrow. So I'm not going to do it.
That's right. Yeah.
Netanyahu is skeptical about negotiations. He wants to resume the war to further degrade Iran's capabilities. Trump says he thinks a deal can be reached, but he's ready to resume the war if it isn't. So yeah, interesting stuff.
There's one other, scroll down to close to the end. Somewhere, there it is. Iran's foreign ministry spokesperson said that in order for talks to succeed, the U.S. would have to end its piracy against Iranian ships and agree to release frozen funds, while Israel would have to end its war in Lebanon. And so that's what they want out of this, for Israel to stop attacking Lebanon.
Interesting.
Yes.
What do you think the significance of that is?
Well, I think that to the extent that Hezbollah is a thing there. So I kind of am coming to the position where you look at all of these so-called terrorist groups in these countries. You've got the Taliban in Afghanistan. You've got the Houthis in Yemen. You've got Hezbollah in Lebanon and Hamas in Gaza. In each one of these cases, there is a case to be made that these groups are not actually terrorist groups. They are, in fact, the people's opposition government in these territories. And they may well have been at different points directed and funded by global intelligence, but whether or not they are right now is really the only thing that matters in the situation. And so I think that there's, I think that the inverted viewpoint of what we are commonly delivered by the mainstream media and have been delivered throughout our lives is worth exploring in all of these cases, because every time you do that, it turns out that there is a plausible way that that could be true, and that it's just that is just the competing point of view. Now, if they are like the most evil terrorists in the world, the only competing view about their status should come from terrorists, but that's not where it comes from. It comes from the people of those nations who look to them as governing authorities in their nations. Okay. So you're telling me this fringe terrorist group is like taking over governments of nations? And if that's true, then we're not necessarily dealing with a terrorist group. We're just dealing with an anti-regime government that has a military that protects the country. So, man,
interesting.
The shit in the Middle East is very convoluted, but with how, and I understand all this shit's confusing. I'm not making declarative statements. I know this to be true. I'm saying there's another way to look at these things. When you look at it that way, well, then Israel can be ostensibly fighting Hezbollah in Lebanon, but could also just be taking out strategic regime targets under that guise, like Putin was in Ukraine. We see this pattern repeating elsewhere. It's at least worth considering. And again, this stuff's very difficult to ever bring up or talk about. And so because the social blowback for even suggesting the positions I just suggested, because that will be severe, no one ever suggests those things. And if we can't talk about them, if we can't at least consider those positions and see whether or not they're true without just dismissing them out of hand because it's the way we've always been taught them, well, then we certainly cannot come to a point of real understanding in the event that they are true. And I want to make sure that we avoid that in every scenario.
Are you saying like people don't take the position that Israel could be helping Trump take out regime targets? Is that what you're saying?
That is one of the things that I'm saying. Do you ever hear a serious discussion about what Yemen looks like if the Houthis are the legitimate governing authority of Yemen?
No.
Do you ever hear a discussion about what the situation looks like, aside from on Badlands, if the Taliban are just the ultimate people or the ultimate people's governing authority in Afghanistan? We were told that a government set up by like George W. Bush and Barack Obama and the neocons of the world in Afghanistan was their legitimate government because we're the ones who put it there. And we started calling it democracy.
Yeah.
That's what we do everywhere in the world. So I'm just saying you gotta at least explore the counter narrative position on all this stuff, because otherwise we're not engaged with a critical aspect of how the world operates.
Well, I mean, I think that's very interesting, especially the Taliban point, considering the way Trump worked with them and the Doha agreement. Like he was left there, and they were left with the weapons essentially to carry out fighting terrorists on our behalf. And that was exactly part of the Doha agreement. It happened under the Biden administration, but that was a Devo proof for a long time. Like that's what we talked about. Is like this is a kind of proof of Trump's deals being carried out under Biden. So to think that that's not happening in other areas is, I think you're right. It's foolish.
And look at al-Sharaa replacing Bashar al-Assad in Syria. Same kind of thing. He was opposed to the global regime in Syria. And so Trump can't easily enough make peace with him. And maybe he's completed his mission. So he leaves. Same thing with Maduro. You know, we're getting this pattern all over the world because the same arrangement is being resolved all over the world.
Yeah. You know, you're right. No, people aren't talking about it from that angle besides here on Badlands, but there's definitely like people who are, you know, Israel's our greatest ally. And then people that are definitely like, how dare you say that? They have too much influence over our government.
It really is unbelievable. Just how much of the programming people are still running, even though they're like, I'm awake. But it's like just the television programming still running through the brain. And you can hear it when they speak it. Like that is, you can pick out, like I hear it all the time and just say, well, that is a position that this person has clearly never reconsidered. And if you have one of those, the chances that you're wrong are really high.
Yeah. I'm going to play this Podhoretz clip. Is that how you say it?
Podhoretz. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we go. Gosh, he looks kind of nuts than that.
Jesus. I think it is a good thing if Massey and the people like him and others believe that if you cross the line into anti-Semitism, Jews are going to use the power that we have openly to go for you. Because what other recourse is there? Are we just going to sit here and take it, beg for scraps, hope that nice people are nice to us? The Democratic Party is going explicitly anti-Semitic. We can see it happening. People are getting benefits, as Seth says, for being anti-Semites. That seems to be part of an appeal in primaries to the left and the party. We have to use what means there are at our disposal. And in my view, I'm going to put it blank, that is Jewish money. There is an enormous amount of Jewish money in politics, by which I mean Jewish donors, wildly disproportionate, not only charitably, but politically. And when I say charitably, I mean nobody really knows the numbers. Jews make up 2% of the population. According to some studies, Jews make up 20% of the charitable contributions made in the United States annually. Yes. That is a tenfold. Think about that. Think about the disproportion of that. And in politics, it's pretty close also. And if that money isn't used, why do people give money? Because they want to influence elections to get people elected who reflect their views. Well, this is an existential issue for Jews. And the Jews who explicitly give money because they want to make it clear to anti-Semitic candidates that they are going to have to go through a buzzsaw and that they are not going to simply waltz in and be, if they're treated with kid gloves by the New York Times, we are double time going to do what we can to expose who they are, to find out what we can find out about them that will harm them, and that we will do what we can to prevent them from taking office. What other choice does American Jewry have?
I was never in this for the money. But it turns out that the money was an absolute necessity for me.
I think we need to become more pro-Jewish, man. 20% of the money coming in from 2% of the people.
Yeah, it's very, very impressive. I mean, he basically just laid it all out there.
Yeah.
If we said that, and I know many people have made this point today, if we said that, we would be called anti-Semitic to suggest that powerful Jews are using their money to influence politics on behalf of Jews. I mean, Zionism, and I know hashtag not all Jews, fine. You know, we can put all the caveats out at the beginning. Zionism is explicitly an ethno-supremacist movement.
Yeah.
Okay. If any other ethno was doing a supremacist movement, it'd be a big problem. In fact, what John Podhoretz is pitching right there is opposition. I guess it's the reversal of he's not promoting Jewish ethno-supremacism. He's promoting Jewish victimhood to the point where that justifies Jews looking out primarily for themselves above everybody else and above America, by the way. And he is a prominent neocon writer for a Jewish outlet called Commentary. His father was one of the kind of progenitors of neoconservatism. So he's in that line. He's coming right out here and saying it. And by the way, there's an interesting Miriam Adelson clip to play as well.
You should send me that. But first of all, like, could you imagine if he came out there and said, we're going to do this on behalf of white people? Like, we just want the white candidates. And as a white person myself, you know, I feel attacked. So we're going to do our best to get rid of the people that aren't pro-white. Like, people would be losing their damn minds. But we need to reform the finance stuff and the money in politics generally. I know we keep saying this, and the politicians are never, just like they're never going to fix the election system that gets them in there. They're never going to fix the money system that keeps them rich and keeps them in there. But there's got to be something done. Like, they should limit campaign financing stuff to like each one person can donate like $25 tops. That's it. No big PACs, no big corporate donations, nothing. It has to be entirely grassroots. It would change the entire political spectrum, but they'll never do it.
Yeah, I mean, I would hope that at some point all politics will become local, so that we don't have to view politics through this lens at all.
When was this clip?
I saw it like 3 days ago, so I am under the impression that it was over the weekend, but I could be wrong about that.
I'll try to find that out while I play it. It's really
Miri, you and Sheldon created a lot of relationship over the years with politicians at the state level, especially at the federal level. I want you to share with everyone, why is it so important, and how do you do it? Again, writing checks is part of it, but there is more than writing just checks. So how do you do it?
Can you allow me not to answer?
You choose.
I want to be truthful, and there are so many things that I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we don't want specific, but that's okay. But everyone should know here how important it is to get involved, because the reason that both of you were able to make huge differences is because you got involved. And you spent a lot of time and yes, a lot of money on it, but you got involved and you cared. And that's what everyone here need to know, that, you know, complaining and doing nothing is not going to get us anywhere. And you guys have done completely the opposite. So thank you both.
You got to love how he tried to save it.
Yeah. I'm reading about the award. This was on May 4th, by the way. She was at the Israeli American Council, whatever gala that they did. And she got the Defender of Am Yisrael Lifetime Achievement Award. This is at a private residence. This is at a house. It sounds like it's at a conference hall or something. But the award is to honor, recognize individuals whose long-term leadership, philanthropy, or activism have significantly supported and defended the Jewish people and the state of Israel. Crazy.
Wait a second. I was going to address something that someone said in the chat, and now I lost it. Oh, it was about if the Jews control everything, why is there so much opposition, and why are there so many Muslims in the country and the rest of it? Well, and then another person made the point that it's not the Jews, it's the Zionists, and I would accept that point as more accurate in some sense, I guess. There are anti-Zionist Jews out there, anti-Zionist Jews believe that Zionism is like an abomination. Zionism being the ethno-supremacist movement. Now, so I would say, first of all, that Zionism is kind of a quasi-spiritual / religious cover for what is a goal of global domination. And I don't think that is exclusively Jewish. But even if it was exclusively Jewish, if APAC is paying off politicians in the government to decide everything on behalf of Jews, are all the politicians Jewish? Of course, the answer is no. Well, if they're not Jewish and they're working on behalf of the Jews, they're certainly doing so either because they are corrupt or compromised, but they're just kind of looking out for themselves and then doing the bidding of the enemy in that scenario. And it turns out if you apply that to the entire country, well, there's a whole lot of people in the country doing the bidding of the enemy who are not Jewish. They're white, they're black, they're Indian, they're Mexican, they're all of the things, who are supporting elements of the regime that have nothing to do with politics. You know, they're doing it in the entertainment industry, or they're the stars of porno movies. You can go on and on and on about the different ways that people are serving the adversary while not being Jewish. And at the top of all of these prestigious institutions, I will grant you, are people who identify as Jews and Zionists. And that's just kind of irrefutable. We've talked about it in, and there's probably many reasons, some of them good, many of them bad, why that is the case. One of the things is because they prioritize tribalism. And if you prioritize tribalism, you are going to succeed with your members of the tribe. And if all of them are willing to prioritize the tribe as opposed to everyone else, and they don't have some Christ-centered moral code that prevents them from trying to exploit people or make deals with people to get them to do things that they otherwise wouldn't do, well, this is how the system's always going to arrange itself. Like, that's why there's like, in my mind, there's only Jesus or not Jesus, and not Jesus will end up this way no matter who's running that direction. And it's not just Jews. I mean, Jews, like, first of all, I don't know. I don't need to go all the way through this, but we can.
Yeah, I don't mind. I mean, when you're saying all this stuff, I'm thinking there's parallels within the truth community too about the tribalism and whatnot.
Yeah,
because we get a lot of that, especially from the cute people. Don't get mad at us, but that's where a lot of it comes from. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how deep you want to go down this either. This is something we could talk about for hours, but there's other things I want to get into. I think we should talk. You know, we're spending time talking about the election, the Massey election. I think another big election that is going to have a lot of eyes on it is the Spencer Pratt one. And there's some great, like his AI team or whoever's doing these videos for him is absolutely killing it. And I don't know. I'm curious what your thoughts are. You're from LA, and we can play a couple of his videos here too. But if you're ready to move on from the previous topic, I would love to get your opinion on whether you or not you think he could legitimately win the election if there was free and fair elections. Like that out of the picture. I don't anticipate him winning at all because of the fraudulent election system, especially in California. But do you think, like, the people you know, are they talking about him? Are they excited about him?
Yes. And like this is like my circle adjacent, by the way. So I know many of his friends and talked to one of them just last week and he brought it up. I hadn't talked to him in a while. I just kind of asked him how LA was doing, and he's like, better if Spencer wins. And I was like, don't you feel like something's a little off on that? Like something's a little odd. They're making kind of too big of a deal. Seems like maybe they're trying to co-opt him. He swore up and down, having known Spencer Pratt for 20 years, that he is extremely sincere in his quest to make LA better. And I can totally believe that, because there are, and we'll watch one of, you know what, let's watch these two commercials and then we can kind of talk about it big picture.
Okay. I have one of them, the mom one.
Okay. And actually, let me play that 1 second. I think that this one kind of works even better.
First, I think you're right.
First, yeah.
And while you're getting that pulled up, I have another one. I haven't seen this one yet, but it's another AI one. I'll play this quick.
Okay, so we've got a panel of your average Los Angeles voter to test some of your policies and see how we're doing. First question, who thinks Mayor Bass did a great job responding to the fires?
Didn't she go to Ghana?
Okay, great feedback. Next question, who thinks Mayor Bass did a great job with the Palisades rebuild?
What rebuild?
Okay, but you agree she's addressed the homeless problem, right?
There's literally homeless people smoking crack at my kids' playground.
Ask them about raising their taxes to pay for crack pipes for drug addicts.
Nobody wants any of this. We just want to feel safe, our loved ones to be safe.
Regular neighborhood maintenance, common sense. Fuck. Pratt's gonna win, isn't he?
We should probably skip the next debate. Okay.
Okay, there's that one. Here's the dad's one.
This mayor race is really heating up. Who you guys voting for? Haven't decided? Same, haven't really been following it. Same. I'm not MAGA or anything. But the city's kind of gone to shit though, right? Oh yeah. Jessica stepped on a needle at the playground the other day. I'm not MAGA or anything though. I'm not MAGA or anything, but have you been downtown lately? Looks like an episode of The Walking Dead. Not that I'm MAGA or anything though. Spencer Pratt seems like he has some good ideas. Not that I'm MAGA or anything. He does seem really angry all the time though. Well, they did burn his house down. Also, apparently he's staying at the Bel Air Hotel, not the trailer on his property. Well, yeah. They burned his house down. Okay, we're all adults here. How about on 3, we just say who we're voting for? 1, 2, 3. Spencer Pratt. Yeah. Spencer Pratt. Spencer Pratt. Can you imagine if our wives knew?
We're all voting for Spencer Pratt, right? Of course. Obviously. I wish I could vote like yesterday.
So good. Yeah, let's play the other one, then we'll discuss them.
Okay.
All right, class, great job today. Hey, I have to tell you something. Promise you won't get mad? I'm voting for Spencer Pratt. Get mad? I'm voting for Spencer Pratt too. Did someone mention Spencer Pratt? No? No. Oh. Because I'm actually voting for him. Oh, so are we. I just don't know if we can say that too loud over here. Say what? Spencer Pratt? He's got my vote. Wait, is everyone here voting for Spencer Pratt?
How many average LA people though are seeing these ads? Are they playing on the TVs out there? Like, what kind of content do they consume? Are they on in the Twitter bubble like we are?
They'll definitely be in the social media bubble, but people, I mean, like a lot of people in LA who are not into political media and are not into social media probably won't see this. Like the Mexican families in East LA probably aren't watching Spencer Pratt commercials. But then again, man, I don't want to sell anybody short at this point, because people have been there for a generation or a few generations, probably notice a difference with Trump and the rest of it. And that city really has gone to shit. And I love that place. So it makes me feel bad to say that and to think that, but that's why I left in the first place. I mean, I spent all of 2020, like my place at the time was near a street with a freeway overpass. And that freeway overpass was a tent city for homeless people that would always be, they'd always be setting themselves on fire and like doing drugs just in the open. It's disgusting. And they do it to reduce people's property values so that everyone leaves and they can just snatch up some of the most expensive property in the world, like well underpriced. But anyway, LA is it's sad what has happened there. I have nothing good to say about what any of these people have done. I was censored by the government of California at a signature drive for Gavin Newsom's recall. So like, let's just put that aside. These two commercials are how LA actually is. And I was out in the scene that the target demographic of these commercials is made up of, okay? Knew thousands of people. If I knew 10,000 people, I wouldn't be surprised, okay? Out all the time, nearly every night for 15 years running, meeting these sorts of people and having conversations with them when they were out in social environments, oftentimes have been drinking, they just wanted somebody to talk to who was like someone they'd see every now and then. They knew that they could have a conversation, but I'm not going to be like, hey, did you hear what Dave said? So I would get like the real deal on a lot of these people, I would hear what they really think, I should say.
Yeah.
Okay. And even during 2020, when I was like posting and people were trying to cancel me and like trying to destroy my life and my livelihood had first of all been canceled by Gavin Newsom, but to make it so that I could never work in the town again. And people used to say that to me all the time. Still at that time, there were people, some of them famous, who would be getting in touch like, oh man, thank you for doing what you're doing. Like, I just can't say it in my life, but I'm so happy that you are. And like, you have a lot of silent support back there. I was like, I know I have silent support. Why aren't you speaking up? The fact that you don't speak up is why it's like this. Because if everybody knew that no one actually agrees with this shit, it would stop. But instead, you allow that illusion to persist because everybody there depends entirely on their reputation and is unwilling to rock the boat because they know what's going to happen because the examples happen over and over and over again. I don't want to deal with that. I can't afford to lose my job. I have kids to take care of. And that's a very valid excuse, or not excuse. It's a very valid reason. And everybody has their reason that they think is valid, and then nobody does it. But this is how it is.
Yeah, so what do you think of the I'm not mega or anything part of it? Because that was hilarious. But are people really like that too? They're ashamed to be mega?
100%. Well, yes. Yeah, because, and again, you can see how it operates online with the Thomas Massie thing and his supporters. Perfect example. Same thing with Ron DeSantis back then. There is still negative social credit for aligning yourself politically with Donald Trump. It's okay to say you voted for him because voting for him, you can explain you did that relative to Biden and Kamala. Okay. Yeah. I get it. I'm not a Trump guy either, but I had to vote for him because Biden and Kamala were just so bad. That's what people do. And so they don't ever have to like really embrace, like, I am actually standing with Donald Trump. And I don't know if Spencer Pratt's going to do it. He should do it. But I don't know that he will.
I heard he might have. Did he get Trump's endorsement?
No. Trump spoke about him this morning, and I can pull that clip up too.
Yeah, I thought I read something online that Trump endorsed him, but
No.
I'm pretty sure it's coming from a clickbait account. So I was like, I don't know if I believe that because I haven't seen anything else.
No. He just talked about whether or not Spencer Pratt would or might win, and then he turned it to talking about how the elections in California are so fake that Trump would have won if Jesus Christ had counted the ballots. Here you go. That's it right there.
Former reality TV star?
No, I'd like to see him do well. He's a character. I don't know him. I assume he probably supports me. Does he support me?
I think so.
I think so, yeah. I heard he does. I heard he's a big MAGA person. He's doing well. I don't know. If you have a rigged vote out there, that's the problem. The votes are rigged. You have a really rigged vote in California. You have all the mail-in ballots, everything else. Very hard to win because the elections are very dishonest. If we had Jesus Christ come down and count the votes, I would have won California because I do great with Hispanics. But it's a rigged vote. They sent out 38 million votes. Nobody knows where they're going. Of course, the Democrats do, I guess. But disproportionately, Democrats get many more votes. Some get 8 votes. They get 8 cards, and Republicans have to call in, where's my card? It's a rigged system. One of the most, not the worst, I'll give you a list. Maybe I'll do my list. But California's one of the most dishonest states for voting.
What's your message?
Crazy. Has Spencer Pratt talked about fraudulent elections at all yet?
I haven't seen it, and I don't feel I get the impression that that's not where they're trying to go. By the way, it's very strange. I feel like Michael Schellenberger is at the top of the stream and releasing these videos, the Twitter files guy. And so again,
the AI videos.
He is, I don't know if Spencer Pratt has a campaign site and then that's where they go up, but that's where I keep seeing them trace back to. And he's kind of an operator. So if he, and I'm not suggesting I know this to be true, but it seems like he's involved there. And, you know, whatever Spencer Pratt does authentically, there is still going to be elements of the GOP machine, people from the JD Vance wing of things that are going to try to be bringing him into the fold and then steering him, telling him, if you go along with what we are doing, we're going to see you through this. They will outlast Spencer Pratt the same way they're trying to outlast Donald Trump. If they cannot sell the idea that he was defeated in a real election and that would blow up the view of elections, then they'll let him in there. They'll turn all the levers of government in Los Angeles and California against him, and they will ride out him as mayor, taking he'll get a few wins here and there. They'll ride it out, and then they'll go right back onto the program. You can see that that's what they're doing with Donald Trump. That is how they neutralize actual threats. And I'm not sure that he has anybody in his ear actually warning him about these things. I think everybody's just happy that people online really like him because that is the totality of their understanding of the outside world.
Yeah, but it's weird to me that he hasn't said anything about election fraud. Like, he's got to know it exists. He's got to know that he's probably not going to win because of that, you would imagine. And I don't know if he's popular enough to expose the election fraud in California. I feel like it's been damn exposed. I don't think it matters.
Yeah. I think that Spencer Pratt is doing so well with this stuff and can continue doing so well with this stuff that he can actually break the dynamic that I was talking about before, where people will be like, okay, you say you love Trump and believe that elections are fake. Well, we're still on your side because we don't want Karen Bass or Nithya Raman at all. And I would love to see him take that leap. And I don't know if he's going to, but that would be the way that I would be advising him. And I think that he can steer a path through that and be successful. And if he does it, it's going to change this country for the better rather than being a feckless mayor for 4 years.
Yeah. Interesting. When is that? Is that election November too?
I don't know the date. I think it is. I was under that impression, but I could be wrong.
Yeah. So we're a long ways out and he's already like blown up. I can't imagine a free, fair election where
it's impossible
to beat him.
Yeah.
But anyway, there's a couple other things I want to get into.
You're totally right about that too.
What was that?
Oh, the mayoral election is June 2nd. And if no candidate gets more than 50%, the runoff is in November. And so that's what we'll probably see. A runoff between him and Los Angeles's our boy mom. That's Nithya Raman. She's like the Mamdani of Los Angeles.
Oh, you think she'll do better than Bass?
I don't know. I'm just saying character types. And it seems like that's what they're setting up. Who knows what's going to happen in the next few weeks? Again, it's a narrative game, so we'll see.
Yeah, interesting stuff. I do want to talk about a couple other things, but we should probably get a quick word from our soft disclosure ourselves. Get yourself some Memorial Day soft disclosure, Memorial 15 for 15% off.
Today we remember those who gave everything. And memory is never still.
This Memorial Day! One hero, one mission to deliver softness to America!
No, Chi-Chi, we can't stop for snacks, dude. We have to deliver all of these soft disclosure gift cards.
He goes by Zach Kane.
The motion detector!
Hey, stop fighting over the beer brush.
life finds a way.
Hydrate your elbows, moisturize your soul. Feel the rhythm together. Makes you feel alive and let the lotion roll. Soft disclosure, hear the cry. Maximum softness, do or die.
Muffin, hit it.
Softdisclosure.com, Memorial 15 for 15% off. I want to talk about the settlement thing from Trump. I just got to find the other link here. They did start a, did you see this? The Justice Department started a formation of an advisory committee on anti-Semitism. We got two things. So Trump settled with the DOJ. He had sued them for leaking his tax return, sued him for like $10 billion or something crazy. And then the settlement, there's two parts of it. This is the first one. I think this is the one you sent. And it's not the exact link, but this talks about it. The U.S. Department of Justice today announced that as part of its settlement agreement in the Trump versus IRS, the Attorney General established the Anti-Weaponization Fund to provide a systemic process to hear and redress claims of others who suffered weaponization and lawfare. Plaintiffs of the case, the Trump family, essentially, filed suit against the IRS in Southern District of Florida following the leak of their tax returns. Per the settlement, plaintiffs will receive a formal apology, but no monetary payment or damages of any kind. They've agreed in exchange for the creation of this fund to drop their pending lawsuit with prejudice and also withdraw two administrative claims, including for damages resulting from the unlawful raid of Mar-a-Lago and the Russia collusion hoax. The fund will have the power to issue formal apologies and monetary relief owed to claimants.
Pause a second. The DOJ just said the unlawful raid of Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Seems
Todd Blanche.
Yeah.
The fund will have the power to issue formal apologies, monetary relief owed to claimants. Submission of a claim is voluntary. There are no partisan requirements to file a claim. Any money left when the fund ceases operations will revert to the federal government. The fund will receive $1.776 billion and will come from the Judgment Fund, which is a perpetual appropriation allowing DOJ to settle and pay cases. On a quarterly basis, the fund shall send a report to the Attorney General outlining who has received relief and in what form. The legal precedent here, which I think and you pointed out was pretty interesting. There's a legal precedent for such a fund, most notably the Keeps Eagle case, where the Obama administration created a $760 million fund to redress various claims alleging racism against the federal government over a period of decades. Is that their form of reparations, you think?
I mean, that's a good framing.
The DOJ, the Keeps Eagle, hundreds of millions of dollars remaining in the fund were distributed to nonprofits and NGOs that never made claims, whereas any money remaining in the anti-weaponization fund will revert to the federal government. It's crazy. So this is one part of it, and my thoughts, I talked about this in my show the other day. I am not a fan of, well, first of all, I'm not a fan of taxes generally, but then when taxpayer dollars are used to pay out damages for things that individuals don't even get personally held accountable for, I have a problem with that. I think with all this stuff, like if you weaponize the government, you should be held personally accountable and personally liable for monetary damages and not the taxpayer. So I think it's kind of out. But
yeah, but what if it's a systematic weaponization of the government?
That's a good question. I don't know, but
so it's the government violating the rights here.
Sure, I get that. I'd be more on board with a fund like this if the people themselves that were using the system to weaponize it were also held personally accountable, but we haven't seen that ever, I don't think.
I'm 100% with you there. Yeah, I mean, this is a really interesting issue because, well, one of the wrinkles, as far as I understand it, with how this thing has been used is that they sue the government for the government not doing something, and they get the money, and then the government also has to do that thing. So it's like a forcing function on the government to change how it operates. and they have the legal justification for it. And this includes changing how the government operates without legislation. So it's another one of those like kind of extra constitutional ways that they continue to violate the Constitution. And people should certainly in our audience understand by now that the system is riddled with loopholes that are put there intentionally so that the powers that be can do whatever they want all the time, and that the Constitution and the way the Constitution is executed, to the extent that it's even still active, which I don't believe it is, all that's just thrown out the window. Go ahead.
Well, do you have an example of what you mean? Like, so if somebody sues claiming that the government was weaponized against them, not only do they get the money, but then the government is what do you mean by forced to do that thing?
So if you can, so let's say within a government agency, if it's a racism claim, for instance, you can sue that agency for a racist practice against you, and that claim goes to court, government pays the litigant, and then changes its policy so that that sort of thing never happens again. And you can force changes in policy just by kind of gaming out the right way to contest it. You know, we saw a similar pattern with a lot of the consent decrees and friendly litigation that changed election policies in advance of the 2020 election. You know, you make it the court's duty to say, well, here's this problem that's going to be caused. You have to decide the other way. Then they decide the other way. The two parties settle and sign a consent decree. And then the system changes without any act of the legislature, without any act of elected representatives. It's just a court function that then changes a law, a rule, or regulation, but it has a real world consequence.
Interesting. I mean, a lot of Trump's, you know, at Part 13, I list all those little groups that people from within the Trump administration went on to, and like America First Legal Foundation, all those things. They issued a lot of lawsuits, I guess, that you could say change things under the Biden administration, and they're still doing stuff, leaking stuff or disclosing stuff through their FOIAs and whatnot. So I get what you're saying there. I still think it's so hard for me to get behind any of this stuff because we're missing that accountability and justice piece. And so it's like, to me, I don't want this to be like a Band-Aid. Like, yeah, guys, we'll give money to the people that were affected by this, but we're not going to hold any of the people that, you know, were primarily responsible for doing it accountable at all. That's my issue with this so far. If we get that justice piece later, which, you know, that's a rug many people are on, including myself sometimes. If we get that, that'd be great. And I'd feel much more comfortable with something like this. But right now I'm just like, this is kind of gay.
Well, I can get on board with everything that you just said. The taxpayer money bit of it, that part in this situation, I mean, maybe that's why this seemingly contrived story about Trump settling with the IRS and saying, put $1.8 billion into this fund that you're not going to pay me, even though you owe me the money, but instead just throw it into this fund. Now, did Trump do that, or did the agencies in the administration do that? I guess we need to nail down that piece of it. But yeah, what's supposed to happen when the government violates the rights of the people it's meant to be serving? If you want restitution and to make people whole, well, there has to be some fund for that. And who else can pay it other than taxpayers? Because the taxpayers are the ones that fund the government. Now, with a tariff situation and tariffs funding the government, you wouldn't have to call on the taxpayers to provide restitution to other taxpayers, because then that just creates a whole. You're trying to make this taxpayer whole, and in order to do that, you have to punish all of these taxpayers. So I totally get why that's not a workable solution as far as you're concerned. But
yeah, and also, I mean, when this lawsuit first got announced, like Trump was suing the IRS while president for $10 billion, is like, what the fuck is going on here? Like, he's suing I mean, that's a ridiculous amount of money for leaking tax returns, but maybe not. Like
more than that, right?
Yeah, was this the goal all along? Did they know? Like, that's like kind of where my train of thought is right now. Is they knew they were going to set up something like this at some point, and what a great narrative! Like the generosity of Trump to, you know what? I'm just going to forgo my own personal money, even though if I win this case, it'd be $10 billion, but I'm going to give it to everybody else that was damaged. I mean, it's a good PR, if anything. But then the other side of this, also part of the settlement agreement, and this is getting a little bit taken out of context by some people, but we should probably read it. This is pretty short. The settlement agreement in Trump v. IRS has created the anti-weaponization fund. The settlement agreement directed the Attorney General to issue an order establishing funding and any other relevant requirements for the fund. Capitalized terms in this document shall have the same meaning as in the settlement agreement. And then this part, the United States releases, waives, acquits, and forever discharges each of the plaintiffs from and is hereby forever barred and precluded from prosecuting or pursuing any and all claims, counterclaims, causes of action, appeals, or requests for any relief, including injunctive relief, monetary relief, damages, examinations, or similar or related reviews, appeals, debt relief, costs, attorney's fees, expenses, and or interest, whether presently known or unknown, that, as of the effective date of this settlement agreement, have been or could have been asserted by defendants against any of the plaintiffs or related or affiliated individuals, including without limitation, family or others filing jointly, or parties including trusts, parent, sister, or related companies, affiliates, and subsidiaries by reason of, with respect to, in connection with, or which arise out of any matters that were raised or could have been raised in the case or the pending agency claims, the lawfare and or weaponization, or any matters currently pending or could be pending, including tax returns filed before the effective date, before defendants or other agencies or departments. So a lot of people are saying like this waives them from, like, the IRS from ever looking into Trump's taxes or auditing him or anything.
Blah, blah, blah.
It's not moving forward, like future tax returns of theirs, but it's like anything up until this point.
Yeah.
Which is kind of nuts.
Yeah. Although Trump was suing for $10 billion, is that right?
Yep.
And he settled for $1.8 roughly billion. So it sounds like he paid $8.2 billion for the IRS not to come after him in the future.
But they just can't come after him for anything related to this or prior.
So fine. For his past actions, he's paid $8.2 billion for the IRS not to come after him. I feel like that's probably more than the IRS than he could ever possibly owe the IRS and have shorted them, which I don't think we even got anything on Trump from those releases. So I guess we're supposed to believe that there are other documents that the IRS has that says Trump owes them $8.2 billion or more. Otherwise, this is not a problem.
But also, I mean, if I sue you for $10, Chris, and ownership of your media company or something, even though there's no case, but then I settle for $2 going to somebody else, am I out $8? Like I never was going to have that $8.
Well, no, I mean, I would suggest that he would be able to win that. Why would the IRS settle for almost $2 billion if they weren't going to be screwed for the rest of it?
Well, that's the thing. We don't know. Like, it's not a great look in terms
I
of.
think this is only a $2 billion case, not a $10 billion case.
It's not a great look in terms of like the PR on this. Like Trump's IRS settles with him, sets up this fund.
Is it Trump's IRS?
Well, I mean, Trump's DOJ.
Trump's DOJ, yeah, fine. Yeah. But I mean, the IRS, they would still say, well, yeah, Trump's the president and the IRS part of the government. Well, not really.
Yeah, not really.
I mean, and also the IRS shouldn't exist, and hopefully it won't exist.
Sure. I mean, I'd be down for that settlement. Like, hey, no more IRS. That's the settlement I'm here for.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyway, I thought this was interesting. But a lot of the fake news is saying he's forever precluded from auditing or dealing with the IRS or any of that stuff. That's not true. It's just based on things surrounding this case and anything prior. So kind of nuts regardless. What else, man? What time is it? This is like 11.
We were gonna talk about the ballroom. Let's just watch the Trump clip.
Oh yeah, I have one clip I wanted to show. A couple of them. No, this is the one from that he's never going to leave office.
Oh yes,
which is great.
Construction. We have 11, beautiful. And I said, "Come on, when's the first one coming?" They said, "In 28." I said, "I'm going to be here in 28. Maybe I'll be here in 32 too. I don't know. Maybe I will, but I'm going to be here in 28." And I'll construction.
Love it. It is funny how he's like kind of toying with, reporters' questions about Rubio and Vance, and they're trying to like get his opinion on who's going to be the guy. And then he's out here subtly dropping, well, maybe I'll be here in 32 as well. Neither one of them, fuckers. I don't have the other video though. Oh, you do.
There it is. Yep, there it is.
Look at the complexity. These are all different rooms down here. They're building a hospital. They're building, it's a military hospital. They're building all sorts of research facilities, also meeting rooms and rooms that go hand in hand for the military, using the ballroom. And the ballroom is...
Hold on, I gotta pause. Do you remember like when this stuff first started and there's a lawsuit to stop it? It was like in the filing that they're like, yeah, national security reasons, but we can't say what it is that's going underneath the ballroom. And then moving forward, Trump's just like slowly like disclosing a little bit more and more. And now he's like, we're gonna have a hospital down there. We're gonna have meeting rooms. We're gonna have research facilities. Like giving the whole game away. So funny.
Really a shield and protecting all of the things that are built here. This goes, as you see, it's already up to the ground. This goes down very deep. You get a better view right over here. This is down because we've already done these floors. But these are already down 2 floors. That is down about 6 stories deep. That's big stuff. Normally when you build a ballroom, you build it flat. You just build a ballroom. It would have been built. The complexity of this, and again, it's all knit. It's all knit together between the drone proofing, the missile proofing, we have, and the drone capacity upstairs. We can have all sorts of military up, whether, I hate to use the word snipers, but we have great sniper capacity. It's built for our snipers, not the enemy snipers, our snipers. And because of the height, we get a very clear view of everything all over Washington. Yeah.
Not the enemy snipers.
He doesn't like using the word snipers. There's like an episode of Cribs here. He's not showing off his.
But dude, he's not going to let the enemy send their snipers onto the top of the White House.
Well, I mean, that's smart.
Yes.
I wouldn't put my enemies there either.
Right.
So funny. 6 stories deep now. We know that. That's new information. We didn't know how deep it was with 6 stories.
Yep.
Just
It's all knitted together.
Yeah.
It's going to house a drone empire.
Is that what he said? Anti-drone empire. Or
anti-drone. Wait.
Or was there going to be drones too?
I don't know. Drones are anti-drone, or can be.
That's true.
It's like our snipers and their snipers.
Yeah. But wouldn't we use our snipers to shoot drones down too, or do we need different? Or is that what the drone? I don't know, man. Technology these days.
Drones would be fun. It would be like skeet shooting.
That's what I want to see though, is Trump like on top of the ballroom flying a drone.
Yes.
Taking out other drones.
Bing, 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 zap, boom.
I got that here. Hold on. Got it somewhere. Here we go.
Ding, 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 ding. Boom. Boom.
That's the best one for sure.
No.
He's done it a bunch of times, but that's the best.
It was like 2023. So good.
Dude, look at what happens immediately after Bill Cassidy is let loose.
No architectural plans. There is no environmentals. There's no engineering. There's no sense of, when we ask, how did it happen to cost exactly $1 billion? In my mind, that is, they could cost a lot less. It could cost a lot more. I just don't get it.
So he doesn't want the ballroom.
I mean, he has no reason not to be just anti-Trump with everything now.
Well, yeah, and that's what we're going to see now. And
him and Massey too.
Yeah. Well, and it looks like they are trying to put together the kind of crossover coalition with like MTG and Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna, and Bernie Sanders is joining on. And I bet AOC will join on. And that's like a manufactured crossover populist thing. I don't know, man. It just seems so contrived to me. I cannot imagine that thing is real. I don't know who supports these people. I don't know which one of them is going to be the leader that people will get behind. I don't get it. I was thinking about not to kind of bring it all the way back around to Massey, but Massey is a creation of Twitter, and Twitter and Massey. There's a bunch of the politicians who do this, by the way. And you could notice it in JD's interview with Joe Rogan, for instance. When Donald Trump goes in there, he just talks about stuff. When JD goes in there, he and Rogan talk about all the stuff that's on podcasts and Twitter. And so that cycle of conversation just keeps going between Twitter influencers, then everybody on podcasts talks about all the same subjects as the Twitter influencers and invites the Twitter influencers on. And then the politicians take everything that Twitter influencers are saying. That's their, like, this is what people want. They go out with that stuff and become popular among those influencers. And the whole circle just keeps feeding itself. They all get big online. They all dip into the reward system online, which turns into, in certain circles, reward systems in real life. And it seems like that's the point of our politics right now.
We call that a circle jerk, Chris.
It is a circle jerk.
Social media circle jerk. Yeah. What else do you want to talk about? Is there anything else? Otherwise, I'm good if you are.
Good.
We did have Putin and Xi. They signed the multipolar world declaration in Beijing.
Yes, yes.
Thought that was interesting, but with BB here, it just doesn't feel right not talking about that stuff. We could I thought this clip was great today too.
Come on, get up. Get up. I want to see this guy. I hate good-looking men. Very good. Matthew, that's great. Thank you very much. It's a great honor. We also have the only cadet who earned a perfect score on every single fitness test. Now we're talking fitness. Do you know who this is already? Wow, this guy must be something. I think we'll have to invite him up. I want to check it out. For the last couple of straight years, which they think may be an all-time record, congratulations to Thomas Rhodes. Thomas, get up here, please. I want to see. I want to check him out. Whoa. Oh, we're not going to fight with him. I'm not fighting him. I'm not. This is not UFC. Please understand that, Thomas. Look at this guy. Look at the muscles in this guy.
He's so funny.
Just hit him on the shoulder. I hurt my hand. It's like hitting a rock.
He's so damn funny.
Yeah.
Oh, that was good. There's some good clips out of that today. And somebody in the chat sent this over. This is AOC. Apparently she was in Alabama. AOC flew to Alabama to tell Southerns they have nothing to fear from inside a bulletproof cage. The message, I believe in you, just not enough to stand near you.
For that we all understand that Montgomery is not alone, that you all are not alone. And for all of those watching today, when they ask, what do we do in this moment? I feel helpless. What action can I take? It is time for the North to pull up to the South. It is time for New York to pull up to Alabama. It is time for all of us to come to Georgia, to Louisiana, to Tennessee, to Mississippi, and let them know exactly what they have uncorked with this injustice. They think they can draw us out of power. They do not know the sleeping giant that they just awakened.
Jeez.
Gosh, that's terrible. Why are they trying to seed the idea that AOC is going to be assassinated?
I don't know.
Who would go out and shoot at that dummy?
Probably your own party, if I had to guess.
Oh, yeah, the people that always do it.
Do you ever see this guy?
Man, somebody sent me that. It wasn't this. It was him eating a Popeye sandwich.
This is him making the sound of a tornado siren.
Hey everyone, here's the tornado siren.
I'm not gonna play the whole thing. But there's a ringtone for people if anybody wants one. It's so ridiculous. Some of his videos are fucking hilarious, man. But yeah, that just came across my feed, so I had to. If I had to see it, you all had to see it too. Anyway, let's get to the boosts and the rants. I did get your Strange Love video pulled up, ready for the outro.
Well, everybody's got to know that that's about the ballroom being down deep in the ground, and it's everything you would ever need to survive the worst.
Yes. 1027JS left a boost for $20 saying thanks. Thank you, Joe, my fellow North Dakotan. One of these days, you got to come to Bismarck so I can treat you to lunch or something. Snowcat Operator gifted a subscription. Thank you, Snowcat. Susie Q20, I know this is kind of random, but what did you find out about Zach and the mullet issue that Lisa said no to? I haven't actually talked to him yet, but on I think it was Only Lands Friday, me and Zach agreed to both do mullets. And then Zach apparently backed out.
Oh, no.
And it's because Lisa's forcing him, but I think I'm still going to do it. We'll see.
I don't think that she knows the full potential of Zach's power until she knows him with a mullet.
Yeah. Have you ever had a mullet?
No.
I mean, I'm looking for somebody to join me in growing a mullet, and you are more than welcome to be that person.
I feel like it's not for me.
Well, how would you know if you haven't tried?
That's a good point. Well, I did go as Kenny Powers for Halloween one year.
And I bet that was a very popular outfit.
It was.
So maybe you need a mullet, man.
It's true. Maybe.
Could you imagine how much more seriously you'd be taken if you had a mullet? With the things you say?
Totally.
G Fontes 119, John, when was your interview with the dadgummit guy that I trust about as gaggum much as I can throw him? Ron and Rand Paul together, knowing I should view the entirety of Badlands content. Thanks. That was on my Daily Herald show yesterday, towards the end of it, about 45 minutes in. He was late and didn't give me the full 20 minutes I was promised. But he said he'll come back on, unless he's seen any of the content following where we've kind of been mad at him. So maybe he won't.
Yeah,
Jen
I mean, wasn't he saved by the bell in the middle of giving that answer?
Yeah. And that was kind of my fault. Like, I knew he had to be out of there at 12 sharp. And it was like, or not 12 sharp. It would have been 2 sharp, 2 Eastern. And it was like 2:02. And I still asked that final question. I was trying to get him hammered down on the election stuff. So they rang the bell. Yeah.
You did a good job. It's not your responsibility to tell him when he's got to go.
Yeah, that's true. Well, the one time I didn't I just kept talking with the guy. What's his name? Can't remember his name now. McCormick? No, not McCormick. But he talked to me for like 45 minutes. It was supposed to be like a 50-minute interview, but he just never stopped talking. So I kept asking questions. Jen Hud, as you are all sharing what you are saying now, guys, how do we not know they are all on the same OWO team taking us? What, OWO? One World?
Yeah, maybe that's it.
Something taking us all to the Great Reset.
Order. Yeah.
Yeah, where we own nothing and be happy. Thoughts?
Yeah, sorry, Jen Hud, but yeah, that's something we've talked about a bunch of times, including recently. So I don't think that there's a really a reason to go deep into it. That's entirely possible. I don't think it's likely. John doesn't think it's likely, but it's possible, and you should be mentally prepared for it and pay attention and see if there are reasons to believe that seem more sensible to you than doing it the other way. Everybody's got to make these decisions for themselves.
Yep. Be ready for all possibilities. G Fontes 119, a multi-rant thought I had over the weekend while in chat, whose owner was helping troubleshoot a tech problem while showing a discussion with Dave Smith, who I know is an okay BSer, and Nick Fuentes, that I never saw in more than a clip prior to then. They're acting like they got along while making veiled accusations to outright lies about Trump, admin, and complaints while omitting pertinent facts such as judicial rulings that have resulted in XYZ or what's happened after some have been overturned by higher courts, and I quit paying attention to focus on my goal, being the tech problem. Then I could not ignore when Fuentes said, Israel is depending on anti-Semitism for their survival, that I may have missed if not for the shock on Smith's face and struggle to quickly change the subject entirely. I may have missed this if I had not learned in several lines of work training. That's basically if you don't like what's being said or cannot answer a question or don't want to provide the answer, just change the subject. Arbitration or Sales 101. Apologies for the storybook rant. Did Nick say the quiet part out loud?
Yeah, 100%. I I mean, that is absolutely the case. That's why you see a pro-Nazi op online that has been building for years. It's controlled opposition. They need both sides of it to make it work. If only one side of it exists, the controlled opposition thing doesn't work. So yes, of course. I mean, it's the same way that the SPLC needs racism.
Yeah. Yeah. Interesting stuff.
And we'll create it, I should say. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Yeah, both sides of it. And then Mad Mr. Fox says, I figured it out. Chris is the Ent lawyer who writes the Crazy Days and Nights Celebrities gossip blog.
That is funny, but I am definitely not that guy.
Do you know the guy, though?
I do not know him. I do not know who he is. I have friends who have suspicions about who he is, and I cannot recall the name that I have been told because I didn't know the name. And I didn't know the person. So like if I said like, oh, it's Dan Weinberg, that would probably be the name of a Hollywood entertainment attorney. And that would also be totally made up and wrong. But yeah, have you ever looked at Crazy Days and Nights?
Yeah, me and Zach have done a couple things
cool.
on basis conspiracies about him, but nothing. Does he still post?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I haven't looked in a long time.
Interesting. But yeah, it's interesting stuff for sure. I just saw your comment in the private chat. That's really funny. Yeah, guys, do us a favor, hit that thumbs up. I will be back tomorrow at 1 p.m. Eastern for the Daily Herold. Chris will be back tomorrow at what time? Is it 10:30 Eastern?
Yes. Yeah, we are the last show of the night now. Doing it with my buddy Josh. Bullworth is the film.
Awesome. Be sure to check that out. And we're going to get out of here with a clip from Strangelove. So enjoy. Hit the thumbs up here and on YouTube. We'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks, Chris, for filling in.
Thank you.
Mr. President, I would not rule out the chance to preserve a nucleus of human specimens. It would be quite easy. At the bottom of some of our deeper mine shafts, radioactivity would never penetrate a mine some thousands of feet deep. And in a matter of weeks, sufficient improvements in dwelling space could easily be provided.
How long would you have to stay down there?
Well, that's, cobalt thorium G. Radioactive half-life of... I would think that possibly 100 years.
You mean people could actually stay down there for 100 years?
It would not be difficult, my Führer. Nuclear reactors could... I'm sorry, Mr. President.